Hello.
Hello. Welcome to the Legends of Avenir showcase for FEE3.
Sacred Stones showcase again for the fourth year?
Fourth? I think it's the fourth year running.
Is this the Sacred Stones fourth year?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
I am First Tim Noguchi.
I am Snakey1, but I prefer Snake.
And we're kind of the lead developers on this project. So in past years, we have done longer showcases of Avenir. We're going to be doing a shorter one this year because a lot of the work that we have done in the past year has been behind the scenes, either on Snake's side doing tech stuff behind the scenes, or on my side doing writing, planning, rewriting behind the scenes. So gameplay-wise, this year we are going to be showing you a reworked route from the mercenary routes, my bad.
Because that's not confusing.
No, not at all. I don't know why we named them all M things.
It's fine.
We're not smart. We should have named them after the countries, but whatever. So, yeah, we're just going to kind of be talking about why we've been reworking routes, what we've been working on in the past year, probably some updates.
We've also got some questions from some people that we're going to answer. It'll be fun.
Yeah, and I'll give a little bit of an explanation as to why we are not showing off Mage route stuff right now, and probably an ETA on when we can start to see some Mage route stuff, aside from the first chapter that we showcased last year.
Yeah.
So take it away, Snake.
All right. So what we're going to be showing today is Chapter 5 of the first reworked mercenary route. If you're a little familiar to Avenir, we have our mercenary routes, 5 of them. The first that we made was what we call the assassin route, and we're quite happy with it. But then we made the Caesarea and Arcane routes, both of which turned out to be honestly subpar in our opinion. So what we've done is we've gone through and we've reworked the last 3 chapters of the Caesarea route from scratch. And by the time this airs, this should be out for release. So this is chapter 5 of the new Caesarea route we're going to be showing off. And if you're familiar to Avenir, you should know that Ark's home, Danan, has just been murdered by bandits, because that never happens in Fire Emblem. So Ark here on the left, which is a new portrait, by the way. We're excited to have new Ark in. But his home has just been destroyed, and he's very sad, and they're going to do something about it.
Yeah, so a large part of why we chose to rework some of these routes, and kind of to give you an idea of what's coming in terms of route reworks, is either we determined that we weren't happy with the gameplay direction, or we weren't happy with the story direction of particular routes. So with the Caesarea route, it was a little bit of both. The gameplay wasn't awful, but the story was pretty bad, and there were too many desert chapters, so...
Because people love desert chapters.
It's basically an entire from-the-ground-up rework post-Chapter 5, and there's a couple other routes in the mercenary path that will also be getting that. The Arcane route will be getting gameplay reworks. The story will stay about the same, but the actual maps and gameplay and everything will be almost entirely reworked Chapter 5 and onward, because the gameplay of that route definitely shows our immaturity as designers when it was made.
It's kind of a running meme at this point.
It kind of is.
I know a while ago because a lot of the people in the community in the Discord are very excited for the Mage routes, and so are we, but we also keep getting bug reports for, hey, the Arcane route is bad. Thanks, we know. And so I think as a compromise, a while ago we kind of decided first we're going to work on the Caesarea route, then a few Mage chapters, then return to the Arcane route. So that's kind of our short-term plan for our reworks and integration with the Mage route.
We're going to roughly alternate. The other route, and this kind of answers a question we were asked about if there are villain/antagonist routes. Yes, there are. The other route that is going to be completely reworked from the ground up is the true bandit route, where you will be able to become much more of a bandit empire leader that's going to kill stuff, and along with that, we're going to be doing some rewrites to the Ethel route that we showcased a few years back, just to keep character consistency with those changes, but that route will not be getting major story or gameplay overhauls. But the True Bandit route is another one of those ones that people tend to just kind of avoid. And we want to make it one that is fun to play and engaging to play, and lets us all fulfill our dreams of being bandit overlords. And so it'll be getting some rework, and of course there is the Zillia route in the military chapters as well that serves an antagonistic role. So those are the three mercenary routes that we want to rework: the Arcane Cesaria and True Bandit routes. The Assassin route will roughly stay as is. It might get minor writing updates just to kind of bring it up to snuff with character consistency, but it is in a good place otherwise, and the Ethel route is also in a good boat. In terms of military routes, you should not be expecting reworks for any of those anytime soon. We're pretty happy with all of them. We kind of came into our own creative voice as we were working on them, and so I would just say that overall they are night and day ahead of most of the mercenary routes. And of course, as we mentioned, we'll be alternating those reworks with new Mage chapters, because people want the magic roots, and we understand that, and we don't want to delay them just to keep quality, so we're going to kind of alternate. I will say that as of right now, the first Mage route is almost done being written outside of supports, and basically the last chapter is not yet written. I will admit that I've been a bit slow on writing in the past year because school has picked up, especially this semester is going to be very rough, but I'm trying to get time in working on that when I can, and I understand that the Mage routes are very highly anticipated, and I want to make sure that the product we're getting out for them is very high quality, which so far I will say that conceptually every Mage route they're all my favorites. Conceptually, they all have some cool elements to them, and so on.
I'm excited for the Mage routes. A lot of the mercenary and military routes are somewhat similar in gameplay and narrative, but I'm excited for the Mage routes being more or less pretty distinct.
There are definitely some new unique things we want to try with the Mage routes as well. We want to try to create I'm not going to give some of it away. I'm gonna wait and let it speak for itself. But I will say that there's going to be some cool new things coming in the Mage routes. And along with that, once all the routes are completed, there was a question asked of what are our plans for a true ending, and are any routes more canonical than others? And the short answer to that is yes, there are plans for a true ending. We've discussed it before, but it would be entirely separate from the actual routes of Avenir. It would be its own short 3 or 4 chapter story that you can complete once having met certain conditions, but none of the routes of Avenir are more or less canonical than any other, because they all end the same way that if you have played Avenir, you are familiar with, and if you have not played Avenir, I will not spoil for you. My assumption is that many of people who are watching this have played Avenir, but...
So you know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Just to interject, Lux here is also a brand new portrait that's going to be in the next release. I believe, well, we'll have a couple characters join here. Elenel, who many wrongly believe is best girl, also has a brand new portrait, which we're excited to show. Would you mind double-checking the artists for the portraits, just so we don't screw them up? Because I'd like to credit them for credit's due.
Yeah. 1 second.
Oh, we have supports in the new Cesaria route here as well. That's something that we're excited for. Jasper and Derek, as you might be familiar with from literally every military route, is also here.
Lux is Vlak. Arc is 80, sponsored by Bart's. And I believe Elenil is also 80, sponsored by Bart's.
Thank you, Bart's and 80.
Yes, thank you very much.
And Black.
I always greatly appreciate seeing new art.
There are a few other portraits that are going to be in the release that we won't be showing here, but I can't remember. There's a boss in the military route, and there are a couple others I don't remember off the top.
I'm gonna guess that Connor's will be new.
Oh, yeah, Connor. Connor is shown in the lead-up to these chapters.
Yes, but he won't be in this chapter in particular, I don't think.
Right.
But he has a new portrait, which is... basically, it's 80 sponsored by Bart's, and then Vlack made some edits to it as well. Scrolling up to see what other ones. Gerald in the Mage routes, that boss.
Yes, that's who I was thinking of.
Has one courtesy of Retro Game. And then Izuke also has some updates, which is still courtesy of Black.
In case you're new to Avenir, the support system we use is completely overhauled from vanilla FE3. I made it from the ground up, and I'm quite proud of it. Not to self-shill, but...
This is all about self-shilling. Everything here we're doing here is about self-shilling.
I like to think that Avenir is very impressive, technically. But that's just me.
Yeah. So I wanted to go ahead and take a moment, since we kind of talked about our gameplay philosophy developing over time and understanding, because there was a question asked of us by Pocky. What do you think is the most important factor for good gameplay, and how are you designing Avenir to incorporate it? Really enjoy hearing different designers' takes on what they feel is the most fundamental part of good FE design. And I think Snek and I tend to kind of agree on this, which is actually largely disagreeing with a larger part of the community, but to me, the most important part of Fire Emblem is flexibility. The ability to approach a chapter different ways, using different units, and with multiple viable strategies that can get you through the chapter with roughly equal viability. So, because of that, we tend to have very open chapter design that can be very easily cheesed by high move characters, because I realize that is a meta that is embraced by the community, but I don't like to design around that meta because it basically forces you to play with that meta.
We've had some people who do some silly things like solo tact runs, that kind of thing, and we're not afraid to allow that, and we don't really believe that we should, punish that in any way. Like, it's not necessarily intended gameplay by any means, but if you want to play that way, we're not going to stop you. We think that if you have fun doing that, then power to you.
Yeah, in fact, just from a game design and an artist's perspective, I'm a firm believer that once I put art out there, for those who don't know, I'm also a music major, so once I put art out there, if I put a composition out there or whatever, I am giving it to the world, and people can basically do with that what they want. So people can play this game how they want to play it. Whether that is how Snek and I intended for it to be played or not. And that is my belief about game design in general, is that you shouldn't design your games in a way so that they can only be played the way you want them to be played. So if you want to do solo tact runs and you enjoy that, go for it. That's good for you. Snek and I both like to use a variety of characters and kind of approach the game very tactically, not necessarily at a tremendously fast pace, and so Avenir is designed to allow that, and because that's very flexible, other things are also possible, and neither of us have an issue with that.
Oops.
Something I'll go ahead and shill for you again, that's been in the game for a while, but I always like to bring up, is that we do have hybrid classes in Avenir, but they do work slightly differently. There was this spell sword that Jasper tried to attack and missed, unfortunately. And spell swords can only use magic on their turn, like right now. This bandit, next turn, will have his sword automatically re-equipped.
Yep.
And so you can safely attack him at 2 range without having to worry about that tome that he has equipped. And that's kind of our way to make it so that they have flexibility, but you don't have one option that's just objectively better.
This has
and I think it creates a lot of interesting gameplay for the spell swords. And there's some other gimmicks to them as well. Like, the generic spellsword class can only use E-rank tomes because the promotion chooses to specialize in dark or anima.
Much like how Iwan loses anima or dark, depending on which promotion he takes. That is, if you use Iwan. But,
yeah.
It's that sort of design choice that we have with spell swords is very similar to our choice with bows in general, how we somewhat have Radiant Dawn longbows, where, well, not longbows, that is bow range, where if you try to attack at free range with a bow, whether you have the bow range up skill or whether it's with a longbow, you have certain stat debuffs, where you really have to think, do I want to attack at 2 range or 3 range? And 3 range isn't just 3. So with hybrid classes and with archers, we have some, I think, somewhat unique design choices with those.
Yeah, and again, it all is in the idea of flexibility while still remaining balanced, because archers are by no means overpowered in Avenir. I would say,
except Eleanor. Eleanor's an exception.
I would say that they stand on equal footing in this game, which is something they typically don't do in Fire Emblem. And I think that a large part of that is because of their flexibility with their bows. It gives them a distinctly different role from mages, but while allowing them to still fulfill other roles. Because, in my opinion, every class in Fire Emblem should be able to fulfill multiple roles, kind of going back to the game design question. So, like, your Cavaliers should be high move and have weapon triangle advantage, but their stats shouldn't necessarily be amazing. I say as we look at Jasper, who is a very good unit. Your mages have access to a lot of different magics. Your archers have range flexibility. Your spell swords have the flexibility of swords and magic. Armor knights are both defensive and high damage units. So just kind of keeping that flexibility in mind when designing classes is something that I think both Snack and I also try to do. I'll go ahead and go to a fun question.
Just really quickly first, I'd like to note, a lot of the progress that's been made has been incorporating an updated version of the skill system. And this has proven much more difficult than I gave it credit for, because there's a lot of things with the skill system, and there's a lot of custom hacks that I made that have ended up conflicting with this new version of the skill system. But upon release, we don't anticipate too many issues with this. We've redone the skill lists, we've minimized, well, not minimized, but we've reduced the number of skills that we've been handed out. We've made use of character and class skill lists. We have a few custom skills. This one doesn't have to have an icon quite yet. But in order to address many routes having a lack of a healer, every tactician starting in the next release will have a first aid skill, where they can heal another unit, like Derek here, where our heal bot, Luke is not nearby. Tact can heal Derek just a little bit, and it's something we hope will remedy that. So hopefully our new implementation of the skill system will be making for a better experience than our last implementation. That's what we hope.
And there are other fun, new, unique skills for some of the the unique tact promotions that will hopefully create more flexibility and creativity in that choice, as opposed to what there was before. The skill system is, in general, just more standardized now, a little bit more predictable. So
I never implemented this. Ooh.
I guess this village is missing some text.
I need to implement this. Okay.
That's totally fine. It's also perfectly possible that it's not written, to be entirely honest.
I wouldn't be surprised. It's someone's fault.
It's one of our faults. It is always one of our faults.
I feel like one of the house texts in that one military route chapter that you don't like with all the forests in the Hadric route, I don't think I've implemented that much text yet.
Yeah, there's one over there that's missing that is definitely written.
Ah!
That was almost really bad.
That would have been really funny.
That would have been really funny. So, what question was I going to ask? Oh, author Pendragon asks, rank the IQ of tact across the various routes. Well, I definitely think that tact in the Zilia route is the dumbest.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I think that kind of goes without question.
Mm-hmm.
He's pretty dumb. Or they're pretty dumb. I don't know which ones I would say are the smartest.
I think the one where you're able to beat Military Chapter 5, but you do save Rex, I feel like you have to be kind of a smart tact to win that chapter.
Yeah.
But that's more of like...
Especially because the choice there relies on reading the context of the dialogue. Mm-hmm. So, like, that tact has to play some serious detective work to figure that out. So the tact that doesn't go the Zilia route is the smartest tact.
Yes.
And all other tacts kind of fall somewhere in between them. I would say the tact that manages to win the battle at the fort in the military routes is probably up there, because you gotta be a pretty smart tactician in order to win against those odds,
that
I would say.
Chapter might be the most controversial chapter. It's like people either love or hate that chapter. No,
it's true. And I think that's why we should never touch it ever again.
I'm never touching it.
Unless something actually breaks.
No, never. Not in Avenir. Not once. This is smart.
You got some enemies coming there.
It's fine.
It worked out. It worked out perfectly well. I would say the assassin route tact isn't dumb, but is very impulsive.
Yeah.
The the Merc Arcane and Merc Cesaria route tacts, I would say, are about equal. Because you're faced with two bad choices, and you pick whichever one you feel slightly more comfortable with. And that's just how you play it.
Obviously, if you choose Mercenary Arcane, you're just memeing.
Peace-loving tact, which isn't really peace-loving tact, it's just the tact that lets Jasper take the promotion, is benevolent but not smart. They're a good lad, but yeah. That's most of the tacts. We didn't really rank them, but we gave a rough idea of where they all fall, I think.
Mage tacts might be a little whiny sometimes, so I don't know.
Yeah, we've only really written one mage route tact, and that particular tact is a little bit whiny and a little bit dumb. And also, weirdly a side character, but oops, whatever.
It's okay, tact can be a side character. Tact is not the main character, obviously.
I mean, they're really not. Let's be real here for a second. Elgren asks, what are our favorite Avenir memes?
What do we have to choose from?
I don't know. I mean, Jasper is kind of just a classic.
I really like the screenshot that I got where Jasper Half-Blink comes from. I don't know if that really counts as a meme, but I do really like that one.
LNL being just overly strong for no reason is a fun meme, I would say. Kendrick is a fun meme.
Kendrick is a meme.
Kendrick was designed to be a meme, so like that should explain all we need to know about Kendrick's role in this game.
This is... Oh god. This is fine.
Shut up, Connor is a good meme.
Oh yeah, I almost forgot about Shut Up Connor.
We can't forget about Shut Up, Connor.
That's a good one.
It's too good. That's rough. That's rougher.
Damn. Can you, like, one-shot Luke? That would be kind of funny, though.
That would be. I think that would be funny.
I wouldn't even reset for that. That would just be funny. Oh, Christ. These reinforcements are kind of strong.
Pleasant reminder that this chapter is still kind of in the testing phases.
Mm-hmm.
So, there are some design kinks to still work out, as we're seeing with these reinforcements that exist for some reason.
Oh, I can't. Uh-oh. I'm gonna make the AI do something stupid. Maybe. No!
Well, that'll one-shot Luke.
Oh,
I forgot.
Is it because Luke has foresight?
I don't know what skill Luke has that causes that, but I wouldn't complain if I were you.
Does Luke has Miracle as a personal now? Because I know he took it off of generics, because it's...
Luke might have Miracle as a personal now. I don't think it's Foresight, because I think Foresight just nullifies the damage.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Like, Luke wouldn't have taken damage there if he had Foresight.
This is gonna be fine. Jasper is totally gonna survive.
To explain how I'm pretty sure the skills work, is that basically every class has a class skill. So you get your class skill for your tier 1 class, and then you get a class skill based off of whatever tier 2 class you select, and then every character...
A level up class skill, because internally in the skill system, class skill and level up class skill mean two different things. Because that's not confusing.
And then there's also the fact that every character, I think, has a personal skill and a, quote, mastery skill that are character-specific. So the personal skill they start with and the mastery skill they get upon reaching a, like, level 5 tier 2 or something.
What's your attack speed? This man should not have doubled. I think there might be a bug to work out in the longbow code.
Oops.
Yeah, it's been a little buggy lately. Hopefully I can isolate that later. Wow, that's...
Hopefully you can hit this. Dasher is scary.
It's very scary.
It's a really good spell. The way we did it.
I like it.
And because it's from Tails.
Ah, yes. Because that has nothing to do with it.
Go to the fort. Go to the fort.
Okay, but... Oh, yeah, there's like no one there.
Go to the fort and heal.
Yeah, you're right.
Get that avoid boost. Let's check Luke's skill. Yeah, it looks like it's a miracle.
He does have miracle, yeah. Cool.
Nice.
Thank you, Miracle.
Love it. Arc has 18 strength.
I mean, yeah, Fighter Arc has a lot of strength. What level is Luke? Okay.
Did I miss any questions? I feel like I probably missed some questions.
Hey, try not to help.
Oh, Ak asks what's a character we'd like to give more development. I'm gonna cheat because I'm writing the Mage routes. I'm looking forward to giving Ajax more development. Because I think there are some interesting elements of his character that are worth exploring.
I like Ajax. That's cool.
So, Ajax will definitely be getting some development in the Mage routes. That should be fun and interesting, especially if he's similar yet very different to Zaheva.
I feel like when we do something to the true bandit route, I think Adlez is both good as a unit and a character. I think he could get more development.
Yeah, Adlez will be interesting because part of his kind of like role as a moral compass is gonna be traded over to Viker.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So that he's a more consistent character, but there will still be a little bit of that, because it'll still be the case where Adlez will join on the Ethel route, but will not join on True Bandit. Or no, Connor does not join on the Ethel route, but does join on the True Bandit. That is what I meant to say.
That's correct.
Whereas Adlez will join on both, because Adlez has a little bit of a moral compass, and Connor doesn't.
Connor just likes to kill people.
Connor just needs to shut up.
Yep. This Myrmidon is really annoying.
I love it.
God.
You gave him a wind sword. What did you expect?
Yeah.
So I will go ahead and take this opportunity as Snek continues working through this chapter. Why is the Spirit Dust 9 uses?
It's a bug with the skill system that just got fixed. I need to implement it.
Brilliant.
It has to do with usability-based items, which
Okay,
is...
I see.
It's something that I don't really want or need, and yet it's still causing problems. Which is something that's... it's kind of a general frustration for me with the skill system, and why I've had to spend so much time implementing the skill system. It's just that there's a lot of new features that have been added that are cool, but like I don't really feel the need to use them, and they just end up causing problems. So I don't know. That's like, for example, that with item drops being messed up.
I gotcha. Anyway, as I was saying with the mage routes, because there are some people who have been getting impatient, something that is known to Snake and I, but we've not really discussed publicly at any point, is that when everything was first concepted for Avenir, we didn't concept the mage routes. Like, we just kind of let them sit there because we knew we wanted to do cool stuff with them, but we didn't know what, and so we concepted...
I think we knew at least one of them would be you destroy the world.
Yeah, we had that one planned, but otherwise it was definitely a case of they were very much by the wayside compared to the mercenary and military routes, which is why the turnaround and creation of all the military routes after the mercenary routes happened at a fairly good pace, to be entirely honest. And I will admit that might have been misleading to anyone not involved in the development of the game, because it made major routes sound closer than they actually were, because it's been a process of coming up with ideas, refining said ideas, and just figuring out over time what the best options for this route, for these routes are. And that phase is done, but now, of course, it's into the writing phase and figuring out all of that, which is why they are still very far behind. And last year, when we showcased 2 of the Mage route chapters, they were very much kind of cobbled together in 2 weeks, to be entirely honest.
Yeah, we're both very, very busy. So finding time to work on Avenir is difficult. Oh my god, this is gonna... Okay.
That's a problem. That can crash the game if he hits that.
Really?
Yeah, if he hits before Derek's animation is done, that...
Seriously,
He shouldn't go... Those animations shouldn't go straight together like that. That's a bug with one of them.
It's a bug with salvage tonight. I didn't think it could actually crash the game, so I just kind of...
No.
Oh.
No, because the issue is... I think that can crash the game, because it's like the issue with the Pierce glitch in vanilla FE8.
Oh. But I thought there was one of the essential fixes fixed the Pierce crashing.
Maybe it doesn't break it. It might not crash it. It might be fine. Ignore me. Ignore me being paranoid about things.
Those generic enemies were kind of tough. But that's something we can work on.
Yeah, it'll be refined all in due time.
We're almost there.
The warriors gotta run back to the fort.
Gotta love healing AI.
Also, yeah, the music is from Three Houses. What a concept.
We have a lot of fun custom music, but I don't think we've had a lot of fun custom music lately. Like, I think we've pretty much finished music.
I wouldn't necessarily say we've finished, we just kind of put it by the wayside and have continued doing the inconsistent stuff we've been doing. There's definitely some standardization, at least with phase themes that needs to happen.
Yeah, that's...
Still, I think.
Wow. Okay.
But it's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, this is a thing we have.
Ah, yes. It's never too late to shill the promotion option without an item at level 15. Kind of gives you a choice. Again, that idea of flexibility. You can promote early, or you can wait a little bit and sell off your promotion items for money, especially because money can be a pretty scarce resource in Avenir. But if you play well, you really don't need it, so...
Money is useful.
I suppose something else that could be fun to talk about is that there are concepts in work for what hard mode for Avenir would look like, and because we don't want to make it just enemy bloat and stat bloat, and while hard mode for Avenir is very far off in the future, if we're ever going to do it at all, I think it's fun to talk about some of what that would look like. For example, the vulnerary buffs that we introduced to Avenir, giving them more uses and giving them
15.
More health restored, 15 instead of 10, those would likely be reverted from their original state. Mm-hmm. Things like the first aid skill would either be nerfed or outright removed, so that managing healing becomes that much more crucial on hard mode.
Skills that are mostly beneficial to players, like maybe rallies, would be nerfed, I think.
Yeah.
And of course, you know, enemy stat bloat to some degree, but
enemy stats.
Rely on.
Yeah, enemy stats would definitely be increased, but it wouldn't be the sort of thing where you have to treat every enemy like they're a boss, because I don't think that that's good game design.
No.
I don't think that that creates a fun experience for anyone playing.
FE3, is that you? Not to hate on FE3, but it's not our favorite.
Yeah. I didn't know Pablo was a hero named Kaid.
Bosses are hard to design, because there's a lot of them.
Yeah. I feel like bosses in Fire Emblem are difficult to design anyway.
Yeah.
Because it's hard to make them interesting and or unique.
Sure.
Yeah, those are kind of the fun things to have looking forward to. The patch for this version of the game with the reworked rare, some new portraits, and the reworked skill system will absolutely be up by FEE3 if I had to take a guess. By the time that you are watching this.
That's the goal, yes. I don't think there should be any trouble getting it out by then.
Assuming schoolwork doesn't happen.
Which it will, but I mean, I'm like done with Chapter 7, and it just needs more testing.
In terms of Mage root releases, I'm not going to give an ETA on those because every time I do that, I'm wrong. and we have to decide if we want to release them one at a time or wait until we have half of them done, like we've done in the past, and just kind of see. So if you are interested in getting constant updates about these things and keeping tabs on, or if you just want to ask us questions and chill, absolutely join our Discord server. We try to give routine updates in there. We try to answer questions pretty routinely, give little sneak peeks of what's to come, and if we do exclusive playtest builds, then you will have access to those as well. There's the obligatory Discord chill.
Yes. Join the Discord, upvotes on the left, that kind of thing, I guess. I don't know. Can I show off the character creator even though we did it last year?
Sure.
Okay, cool. Because I'm proud of that.
The character creator is pretty cool, and there are... I think we've talked about maybe bringing some changes to it. I don't remember.
I know...
No, we talked about bringing changes to the promotion screen. Shh.
The promotion screen. I do need to make changes to the character creator to support spell sword classes in the Mage route. But that's going to be minor. It's like minor menu changes.
Confirmed, you can play as a spell sword in the Mage route. No, you can't play as a cleric, damn it.
Okay, but if you play as a monk, then you get to play it as a staff bot, so...
It's true.
Well, this is chapter 6. We don't want to show this. So, we want to... Hello, Ford.
I don't even know what chapter that was.
That was chapter 6.
Okay.
Have you not seen it yet?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
That's kind of funny.
I have not seen those new chapters yet.
Have you even seen the chapter we just showed?
No, I have not. That was my first time seeing that chapter.
Oh my god.
You don't send me patches!
Well, yeah, because they're broken until release.
Oh my god. Snap.
This is the character creator. This is where you get to make your custom unit. Oh god.
It is the coolest thing we have. Oh my god! I think we should probably stop there. That's really funny. Alright.
Okay.
Well, thank you all for coming to this showcase. I swear that'll be fixed by next time. If you want to see the character creator in action, go look at last year's video. It worked that time.
This is the new favorite Avenir meme.
This is the new favorite Avenir meme. That time that we got Demon Screeched in FEE3. Okay, awesome. So, unless you have anything else you wish to say, I think we're good.
Yeah, I think we're good. Well,
awesome. Thank you all for watching, and enjoy the rest of FEE3.
Look out for our release on hopefully the day this video comes out, and hope you enjoy it. See ya.